So for about 2 hours, 6 independent presidential hopefuls responded to issues on corruption, education, health, and many others in a debate organized by Imani Africa and JoyNews, your election headquarters. The program, moderated by head of our political desk, Evans Mensah, and editor Emefa Apau, saw most of the respondents vowing to break the monopoly of the NPP and NDC in Ghana's politics. Here are excerpts.
My name is Samuel Furiempofo. I am from Esiom in the Eastern Region and Gasi. I decided to run for the highest office of the presidency of Ghana because I believe in myself.
My name is Kofi Karansing, and I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm an advocate. If we took an approach of a science-based, data-driven, human-centered consciousness to leadership, we will solve all our problems. And that's why I'm running for president.
My name is Carl Ebo Morgan. I'm from the Central Region, and I'm a political psychologist. At this point of time, the country is at crossroads that I said earlier, and we need to change these establishment parties that have caused all our woes.
My name is Onipayede Osomte. I was born at Asisawa. I think it is time we listen to some of us that we can be able to offer an alternative to fix the economy.
My name is Mari Kofi Gyan. I'm a chartered accountant, a development expert, and a lecturer. Every Ghanaian watching this today has one of the biggest decisions to make. And that decision is to choose someone other than the NDC and the NPP.
The 1992 Constitution gives enormous powers of appointment to the president. Over the years, successive governments have been plagued with what has now come to be known as family and friends government. How would you fashion out a governance system that avoids nepotism in favor of merit and inclusion?
Yes, we all know that since 1992, we've had the problem of the presidency having all the executive powers to control every sector of the economy. The president has all the powers to appoint more than 4,000 executives, and that has never been the right thing for Ghana. And if I am given the nod, I am going to run this country with minimum governance and save as much resources and funds as much as we can for our national development.
Our system of bringing people in is absolutely wrong, Evans. The first thing we need to do, we need to employ a director of public prosecutions, okay? Work directly with the Attorney General's office so they could oversee all crimes, everything in terms of process with the country. We need to employ also a public service commission who does the hiring of the police commissioner, hiring of the auditor general, and also the hiring of the electoral commission.
I am of the opinion that the 1992 Constitution has given so much power to the president. He appoints tons of people. And naturally, when you have such a power, you would like to bring your closest family. The temptation is so high. When I'm president, I'm going to review the Constitution, expunge the indemnity clauses, and these are things that we are talking about. I will propose that we have a president and who appoints a prime minister to run a government.
When you read the Constitution, in Article 78, there are 2 offices. The Constitution created 2 offices, the legislature and then the executives. But Article 78 gives away that a legislature, the executive, which the president is supposed to take more of the cabinet ministers, the ministers from legislatures. So one person is having in 2 offices. I think that's the reason why we are facing this kind of nepotism. So what I'll do is I'll amend Article 78. So it separates the legislatures from the executives. I think that will help.
Head of our political desk, Evans Mensah, has been sharing his perspective on last night's debate. He spoke to Bernice Abubedu Lansa on News Desk earlier.
Actually observe that the candidates stayed within the 1 minute and put forward their thoughts. I mean, aren't we having a conversation about the substance they put forward? All of that substance that we are talking about today, this morning, was put forward either within 1 minute or in 30 seconds. So it is possible. It is possible if you set standards and you want to keep to it. That is where we want to get to as a democracy. We've run a political scene and interactions where people essentially over-elaborate. They say one thing and they repeat it in other words. And
in fact, in under a minute, we experienced that. Some people were actually repeating their thoughts in under a minute, and I was actually surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, good observation. Even a minute, and you could see they finish making the point in maybe 40 seconds. And then they find themselves thinking, okay, I need to elaborate more. And then they attempt to elaborate, and then they repeat themselves before the bell rings. In fact, there were many instances that I even for me, and of course, I'm also a product of this culture, an aspirant is making a point. He actually finishes the point. The bell had not rung, and I'm caught looking, should I go on or I should wait? But he's done.
Let's go on to Zoom now and speak to Dr. Kobi Mensah. He's with the University of Ghana, and he joins us for his perspective on that. First of all, I need to ask, did you watch, and what's your own assessment?
Arba, thank you for the question. I actually, had a snippet of them. Didn't actually watch the entire, session. I suppose that, like many, substantial. I think that they preferred some kind of ideas that were really refreshing as the program was actually built. And then I think that they sort of added some new dimension, to the usual that we have always had. So I think it was quite impressive. The only thing is that the awareness or the publicity of it was very, very minimal. And of course, at the event, they almost build as though they are afterthoughts of the political process. So I think that if we can intensify, this particular program, maybe cycle on cycle, perhaps we could actually make the impact that we want it to be. But currently, unfortunately, it's on the fringes of the main election. Hello?
Right, yes, good. I'm still here. I thought you were off the line because of the poor connection, but good to have you there still. From where you sit, what has been the impact of independent presidential candidates in our elections?
Well, Arba, over the years, we haven't actually had, much impact. Obviously, one is because of our electoral processes. I mean, whenever you have a first past the post, it is very difficult for you to have, candidates that actually go on independent position to make a huge impact. I think, secondly, also the reason why we haven't actually had a major impact is because majority of the independent candidates themselves do not actually come across as they are serious. The reason being that, obviously once you go independent, you have even removed one of the variables that make you competitive, because party, political candidates, they already have a machinery, and therefore they have the absolute distribution capacity to actually send their products or send their candidacy to almost every corner of the country. So immediately you go independent, you have almost removed one of the most important elements in marketing, which we call distribution, that of your pain. And so you would have to make sure that you put that variable back, i.e. having a very strong, volunteering system where people can voluntarily, send your message, send your product, into the communities. The candidates, when they come in, they don't come in